Shit, I'm going to say it one more time. One more time.
Good
With
start.
Why do I say that? I want to say something really fun there, but I don't. Okay, one more time. And now this is the one. This is the take. Welcome to Leading Voices by GSF. My name is Antoni Lacinai, keynote speaker. And today I'd like to welcome Michelle Mills Porter. Welcome.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, it's not very sunny today in the middle of England, near the Lickey Hills where I am. But you know, we're hoping that the sun will break through at some point.
At some point, we'll see the sun again. Yeah, and we don't know whenever you who will watch this are watching it, but right now we have almost the same weather. So there you go. All right. Before we go into the association that you represent, tell us about you. What is your passion? What do you bring to the world in your work?
Well, I am a behaviour expert. That sounds quite quite self-assured, doesn't it? But I am. So I was a CEO of a marketing company, thinking that I was rocking the world, and then I got caught in the Boxing Day tsunami, the biggest natural disaster in our living history. And it's the lessons that I learned about humanity that took me on a completely different path. And so when I returned, I just dived into learning everything I could about what brought people together, what made us behave the way we did, and what was this magnificence I saw in the face of adversity. And so for 20 years, I learnt everything I could about human behaviour, outgrew every behaviour tool I could imagine, and ended up writing a whole suite of analysis tools. So that does put me on a different level of expertise to quite a few behavior experts.
I need to just go back to the first thing you said. Are you a tsunami survivor yourself?
Yes.
Wow. All right. We need to have a separate conversation about that. 20 years, as you say. Oh, okay. So that took you on this path. So now you're spreading your insights and knowledge to the world, then, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking before, but I was speaking on marketing and things like that. And it was a long time before I ever spoke about my experience in the tsunami. And that's because I believe that the story is just the wrapping paper. The gifts that you give are the lessons inside of that. And it took at least 10 years of understanding all of that stuff before I realized how it could benefit humanity. So for me, I talk about what I learned in the aftermath. I talk about the magnificence of humanity and all the positive things. It's not a disaster story. So for me, it took a long while for me to get to the place where I thought, how can I best be in service to humanity?
And here you are right now, being in service to humanity. That's awesome. Now let's go into.
Completely know my purpose on this planet.
You know, I don't know who said it, but there's the two most important days in your life is when you're born, one, and when you know why, second.
Yeah, and the why is the biggest thing. I mean, that's the thing I learned about behavior, understanding behavior. It shows us the how we behave, how we're perceived by others, how we change our behavior. It doesn't give us the why. So that was really digging deep before I understood the why. And now I've got it, and now I share it.
A beacon of insight and light. That's what you have right now. But you're also now you're also representing now PSAUKI, I think it's called, right?
Yeah, it's PSA UK and Ireland.
And Ireland. Okay, yes. All right, and are you celebrating, if I understand this correctly, your 25th anniversary right now?
Yeah, we've had our 25th birthday, so we're 25 years old, and I've been membership director for the past 4 years. I've been in the PSA for 10 years, and I stepped up as national president in October of last year.
Congrats. Yeah, we in Sweden celebrate our 10-year anniversary right now, so we're way behind. We're still an infant compared to you. It's good. What is the best thing about your association?
The best thing about the association is that every single person in the association is just has become my best friend. It's really bizarre. The friendships that we have in the PSA are just incredible. And either I bring my friends into the PSA or I'm friends because of the PSA. But yeah, it's the camaraderie, the relationships, the love that we have for each other is by far the most impressive thing in our association.
I think many people can resonate with that. We should be competitors, but that's not the feeling we have, right?
No, it's not. I mean, even if we work in the same field. And do you know what? The theme for this year, my theme was always going to be collaboration. Collaboration evolution is actually the theme. But I can't believe the serendipity of how this all worked out, because actually we've just been through the biggest adversity that our association has ever been through in 25 years. And actually, there is nothing better than that collaboration and that camaraderie to bring our association back together and make us stronger than we ever have been before. So, boom, it's one of the, just everything has happened at the right time. And we're really feeling like we're coming together so beautifully now. Sometimes it takes adversity to do that to us, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it does. And that's when you really see who show up, if you will, and most of us do. We had our biggest adversity, I think, when the pandemic hit, when we all got together to just help each other out to make it in this new digital world. I wanted to ask you about your challenges later on, but let me do it right now. Then, do you want to share what happened and what you did in order to
Yeah,
get?
well, I mean, it's very transparent. We're the most transparent that we've ever been as a board in the PSA, and we had to have a crisis team report recently. So um, we we lost £150,000 from our reserves. Nothing illegal has happened. It was complete mismanagement and misinformation and some people in the wrong positions. But it brought us to our knees as an association, and we have had to really come together and say, what can we do to save our association, to keep our heads above water, and what can we do to make sure that we never go through this again?
That's massive. I can see that.
Yeah, it's
So what did
huge.
you do then? Let's go into to what did you do in order to solve this then? How do you, yeah, tell
It's
us.
an amalgamation. We immediately, there were a couple of stipend positions on the roll, just a small stipend for the chair and the FD. Those were stopped immediately. We looked at all the ways that we could save money, and we looked at all the ways that we could make money and bring money into the PSA. And, I got on stage with the closing keynote of our conference in October last year. And I had to say, I cannot give you a conference next year. This is where I want to have it. But unless you buy your early bird ticket, we can't afford to pay for the deposit. So it was actually people coming together saying, yes, I'll buy a ticket. Do you know what? I'll buy 2 tickets and I will give one away later down the line or whatever. And it's that, people stepped up and allowed us to be able to say to the brilliant hotel that we've got booked, here's the deposit, there we go. And then we had to make sure we could sell enough tickets up front for the first time ever, to sell so many tickets up front that the financial director, the new financial director, and everyone else on the board was absolutely comfortable and convinced that yes, we have the funding for this, and we can go ahead. So it's been a real struggle, pulling everything together really tightly and thinking of all the creative and unique ways that we can bring money into the association. So frankly, we've had to become more commercial than we've ever been.
And everyone, or at least many, stepped up here and did that for you. That's pretty awesome. Is
Yeah,
it in October again this year,
it is. So
2025?
we have a one-day conference in the spring called Impact, and that's on the 14th of April, and that's a one-day conference. It's jam-packed, and that's going to be a real celebration. And then we have our main conference in October. That's the Speaking Business Summit. And that's a 3-day conference, a 4-day conference for fellows, a 3-day conference for others. And that's going to be phenomenal. We're holding it in Ironbridge in Shropshire. And it's just lovely. The hotel, the Telford Golf and Spa Hotel, has such a beautiful energy about it. And if you're in the restaurant, it overlooks the Ironbridge Gorge, which is really historical. It's just the energy is really right and just what we need as an association this year.
Yeah, and I know that you also invite people outside of your association to join if they want to, and you inspired me right now, so I'm going to look into this myself as well, see if I can come there.
You
All
are
right, cool.
very
Thank
welcome.
you.
In fact, you're not getting away with it. You're coming. That's it now.
I am okay. There we go. So it's set. It's done. Tell us about other things that you have done within your association that you're proud of, that the rest of us can learn from.
So, well, I'm all about collaboration because my main keynote is called The Magnificence of Humanity, and it's all those lessons that I learned in the aftermath of the tsunami, what brings human beings together, what makes us work perfectly together. And usually that is either a shared goal or even a shared enemy, like the pandemic is a shared enemy. And that's the most important thing. So as membership director, the things that I'm really proud of are creating those collaborations, those beautiful relationships that have massively benefited the membership. So one of them is CPD. There it is, CPD.
I see it, yes. Yeah.
CPD is it's a brilliant association in the UK that allows us to be accredited. So if I have a training course, if I get it CPD accredited, it comes with an awful lot more weight, and it comes with points that people in industry can collect, and it's all part of their own personal development. So now we have a relationship with CPD that means that even our talks can carry CPD points, and we can do that through the PSA far more cost effectively by a quarter. It's a quarter of the price that it would cost if you weren't a member of the PSA. That's one example of the brilliant collaborations that we are creating. Another one is creating collaborations with bureaus, with speaker bureaus. And the first collaboration we had was with inspirational speakers in the UK. And that relationship is so very important to us.
Great people. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're bringing the speaker bookers and the bureaus closer to our association so that they come to us first for their specialists. That's what we're trying to achieve.
All right. I mean, the CPD thing, I haven't heard it somewhere else. So this is something that I hope everyone can be inspired by and perhaps do something in their own home market, so to say. Great things. Thank you. So tell me, what is the, if you look at the crystal ball here now, I understand now that you have your upcoming October conference and so on, but what else is that you want to do to enhance the association for your members?
Well, I guess there is a legacy that I would like to leave, and that would be the connection to the speaker bookers. And I call them VIPs because they are the most important people in our life as speakers, the people that book us. And so I've just put together a showcase. And the showcase is happening on the 21st of February. So it's a week today. It's been so tough putting it together, but I have more than 40 VIPs in the room. These are not just speaker bureaus, but they are universities. They are learning and development heads in organizations. They're football clubs, they're associations, they're a whole group of people that regularly book speakers or trainers or workshops on a regular basis and pay for it. And every single one of them is a VIP. And we've got a lineup of 8 speakers that have been chosen and 1 MC that have been chosen by those VIPs, the people they want to see the most. And we're going to be showcasing ourselves for 20 minutes on stage. And hopefully that is going to start this beautiful collaboration, bringing speaker bookers closer to our members.
The connection between those two are great, and then having showcases like that is also awesome. I'm guessing there is a huge waiting list for people to join you if somebody can't do it. About talking about the 8
Yeah,
people that was
it's
selected.
the way that I've had to work it, because we're trying to be commercial and because I wanted this to bring money into the PSA, I've had to run it through my business in collaboration with PSA, because I can't be paid by PSA and I need to earn some money from it because the work that goes into it is astronomical. So I've had to do it in a separate collaboration. But the money that we gain from it, I'm putting 50% of all of the proceeds moving forward into the PSA. And from this particular event, 30% of all cleared profits go straight into the PSA as a gift from my organisation. But the key thing is that the speakers that are chosen, it's a pay to speak opportunity. So they have to pay. If you get chosen, and I'm grateful that the ones that got the most votes were given the opportunity and every one of them said yes. So they're funding the entire event. They are paying for the VIPs to be there. They're paying for the venue. They're paying for the stage. They're paying for the lunch. And so it's a pay to speak opportunity. But yeah, we had this time, the first one, we had 36 applications that qualified, and only 9 of those 8 speakers and 1 MC got to make the stage.
You know, Michelle, I'm allergic to the whole pay to speak thing. But if there's any time I would do it, this would be it. I mean, you have the exact right audience in front of you. So I get it. Well, cool thing that you did as well. So that's good to know, you know, this possibility to actually do that. We have sometimes something called a speaker festival in Sweden from time to time, and then we also bring in buyers, bookers, and so on. So, but it's excellent idea that you're just showing for the rest of the world to follow if they want to.
Well, I've led by example, and more than half the people that are confirmed are my clients or my hot prospects. So I've opened up my own my own client list completely and put them there. And the risk is that, you know, people on stage are going to be far better than me and they're going to get booked by my potential clients. But this is the whole point about collaboration. Unless you're willing to share wholeheartedly and openly and share the risks as well as sharing, you know, the wins, it doesn't work. So I'm having to lead by example and say, don't be afraid. Don't hold on to your contacts. Let's share them, because we know how we collaborate together, and that can only be a good thing. So I know it's going to come back to me tenfold. And I'm just trying to encourage other people to have
Yeah,
that
that's
mindset.
business karma right there. The generosity at play. Thank you. How many years are you selected, or how does it work in your association? Are you the president 1 year or many years? How does it work?
1 year, yeah.
1 year.
My husband, my husband will not speak to me if that changes and turns into 2 years. It's 1 year,
It's 1
1
year.
year as
Okay.
president. And to a certain extent, the way that it's worked historically is it's almost like our swan song. We serve on the board for a number of years, and then the board members have inevitably become the national president, and it's the final year. So the conference at the end of our year is our bow, our legacy, our bow, and then we spend a year as immediate past president helping the next president along, and then we step off the board. But that is changing in the future. We're working out a new way to make sure that a national president is elected and supported in a way that is fairer than just having served your time on the board, that you don't automatically get the position of national president.
Okay, more to come then.
Yeah, it's all work in progress.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're also talking about this from our association. How should we make sure that we have a good handover? How should we make sure that everyone is involved the appropriate amount of time and so on? So it's always those questions. GSF then, how do you work with GSF? Or actually, the better question would be, what do you need from the Global Speakers Federation?
Well, like you, I'm a giver, and so it's a very difficult thing when people say, "What can we give to you?" It's a really difficult thing because I'm not in that mindset. But we love being part of of this organization. It's just a beautiful thing. It takes the collaboration across the entire globe, and we were lucky enough to be able to hold the conference in Ireland only a couple of years ago, and that was like having the Eurovision Song Contest. It's like,
Are we talking about the Dublin event?
yeah,
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 I was there. It was awesome. Yeah, it was
yeah,
really
and
good.
it was, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that, and we were so proud to be able to host that, and we just love meeting and getting together with our brothers and sisters from all over the planet. It's just a gorgeous thing to do. I haven't been able to get out of the UK and visit many other regions because, we're trying to save money and all that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping to. So it's really nice to know that we have those connections to lean on, and just ask that you come and join us. Come to our conferences. Come and say hello and invite us to yours and let us come to you.
Thank you for that. Final question. What have I forgot to ask you?
Oh, crikey. I don't think. Oh, you've been very efficient, actually. I don't think there's anything you've forgotten. You
Well,
haven't
if
you
there is,
haven't asked how
we
old
will
I
add it
am.
in after, edit it in afterwards or something like that. No, it's just like it's something that you really on your mind that you wanted to come across that I haven't asked. Then it's an opportunity that you have right now. Otherwise,
I will say one thing, and
yes.
that is the fact that having done a membership survey for the last 4 years, for the PSA, what we realise is that people join the PSA for very different reasons to those that they stay. So they join the PSA because they think they're going to get referrals, because they want to learn about the business, they want to improve their skills, and they want to know how to improve their business. Actually, they stay for the relationships, and that is seen year after year after year. Those collaborations, the beautiful togetherness of our association is why people stay, and that's why people stay for years and years and years, and that's a beautiful thing.
I can see that. Yeah. First, it's like, what do I get out of it from an almost financial perspective? But then it's like, oh, I got so much other things out of it that I didn't even know, perhaps. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that as well. And thank you for being with us, Michelle. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been lovely.